In the vast Indo-Pacific region, a new chapter in global power politics is unfolding. India and the United States have signed a 10-year framework for the India-US Major Defense Partnership, a pact that redefines military cooperation, technology sharing, and regional security. Announced in October 2025, the agreement signals a turning point, a moment where two democracies decide to co-shape the rules of the 21st century order, rather than simply follow them. The roots of this alliance run deep. Over the past decade, both countries have built layers of trust through agreements like Limoa in 2016, Kamkasa in 2018, and Bika in 2020. These enabled logistics access, secure communications, and real-time intelligence sharing, transforming limited collaboration into operational partnership. The 2025 Pact is not a sudden shift, but the culmination of years of steady strategic integration. Behind this alignment lies a shared anxiety: the changing strategic balance in Asia, China's expanding influence across the South China Sea, Russia's resurgence, and the instability of the Middle East have reshaped the Indo-Pacific equation. For India and the US, defending open sea lanes and maintaining freedom of navigation are not just ideals, but necessities for economic and regional stability. The 2025 framework introduces structured collaboration across defense policy, industrial manufacturing, and technology innovation. It aims to accelerate co-production and co-development projects, strengthen supply chain resilience, and improve interoperability between both militaries. India's Make in India initiative and America's tech dominance create a complementary dynamic industrial capability meeting technological excellence. One defining pillar of the pact is technology transfer. India will gain access to advanced radar, cyber defense tools, and next-generation fighter jet components, while the US will benefit from India's cost-efficient production capacity and rapidly growing innovation sector. Together, they aim to build defense ecosystems that can serve global markets while reducing dependency on external suppliers. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and hypersonic propulsion are at the heart of this collaboration. Both nations plan to link Indian defense startups with American research labs to co-create next-generation technologies. This partnership isn't about buying weapons, it's about co-creating the future of warfare, where speed, automation, and intelligence determine dominance. Space and cyberspace have emerged as new battlegrounds. The US Space Command and India's Defense Space Agency are deepening coordination to track satellites, detect space debris, and secure communication networks. The cyber domain is equally critical. Both nations are designing joint response systems to detect and neutralize cyber threats in real time. Amid technological progress, human cooperation forms the emotional backbone of this alliance. Exchange programs, joint academies, and military leadership courses are strengthening cultural understanding and operational trust. When Indian and American officers train side by side, they form bonds that transcend politics, turning agreements into lived partnerships. The industrial impact of this pact is equally significant. India's defense corridors in Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh are expected to attract billions in investment. US defense companies like Lockheed Martin and General Atomics will expand local production, while Indian firms will integrate into global supply chains. This collaboration promises jobs, innovation, and regional growth. The economic logic is simple: shared security leads to shared prosperity. As supply chains diversify away from China, India becomes the new hub for cost-effective, reliable production. For the US, this means resilient access to the Asian market and a strategic partner that aligns with its democratic values and regional vision. Globally, the India-US Defence Pact has sparked mixed reactions. Japan and Australia welcomed it as a boost to the Quad alliance, while China and Russia see it as an effort to contain Beijing and weaken Moscow's defense ties with India. In South Asia, Pakistan watches closely, cautious of shifting power balances. The pact's long-term success depends on smart diplomacy, strengthening India's strategic position without straining regional relationships or alliances. In Washington, the pact is seen as part of a larger Indo-Pacific strategy to ensure no single power dominates the region. For New Delhi, it represents strategic insurance. a way to modernize its forces and deter aggression while keeping decision-making firmly in Indian hands. This careful balancing act defines the maturity of the 2025 partnership. Defense diplomacy has become the language of 21st century statecraft. Beyond military drills, both nations are investing in joint disaster response training, maritime surveillance, and humanitarian missions. These collaborations strengthen soft power, showcasing that defense cooperation can serve peace as much as deterrence. However, challenges remain. Bureaucratic delays, differences in export controls, and political cycles can slow implementation. To succeed, both governments must ensure consistent engagement, transparency, and shared accountability. The true measure of success will be whether the pact survives leadership changes and global crises. Globally, analysts call the pact the Asian NATO in slow motion. Though not a formal alliance, it institutionalizes trust, logistics, and communication, the very foundations of a long-term strategic bond. It's a partnership of pragmatism, born not from ideology, but from the shared realization that security and technology are now inseparable. As this decade unfolds, the India-US Pact could shape not just Asia's future, but the world's strategic order. If it succeeds, it may inspire other democracies to collaborate on similar frameworks, bridging innovation and defense for collective security. If it fails, the power vacuum could invite instability and renewed competition. As this 10-year framework unfolds, it could reshape Asia's balance of power. The India-US Defence Pact is more than a military deal. It's a vision of how technology, diplomacy, and democracy can uphold peace in uncertain times. From naval drills to advanced drone research, both nations are writing what may become the story of a 21st century alliance. Its success will depend on how firmly each side turns shared vision into lasting action. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth documentaries on global politics and defense strategies. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on world affairs shaping our future. Your support helps us bring unbiased, fact-based storytelling right to your screen. Stay curious and stay tuned for our next big documentary.